Hey guys, Mark here. I hope that you're well. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how to tie a few different Headhunter's knots using the interweave method. Usually, the Headhunter's knot is tied using the running method, but the interweave can also be used in order to form such a knot. So for those that are more used to the interweave method, this tutorial should be the one for you. So with that said, let's first take a look at the knot, then tie a few. Here you can see an example of a Headhunter's knot. Usually people recognize it as 1.5 of a V. So it has one V shape running alongside the knot, plus 1/2 more. So 1.5 of a V. For me, this knot is more distinct because it has these slanted strands running at the center of the knot, and then at the sides, the bites are all facing one of the sides. In this case, the right side. In any case, this is a Headhunter's knot. The first Headhunter's knot that we're going to tie using the interweave method is going to be tied out of a 4-part 5-bite Turk's head. We can usually predict the number of parts as well as bites that a Headhunter's knot is going to have by doubling both the parts as well as the bites, then subtracting one from both. So the result in this case is going to be a 7-part 9-bite Turk's head. I'm going to start by tying a base knot which is going to be a 4-part 5-bite Turk's head. So I have my basic setup here, which is a broomstick handle with a rubber band attached onto it. A piece of paracord is tucked under the rubber band and the working end has a lacing needle attached. The lacing needle is optional, but recommended. So we're going to start by taking our paracord and we're going to make a wrap around. We wrap around, coming over the standing end, then wrap around again, and with our working end, we're going to travel parallel to the standing end, going under one. Then, using my working end, I'm going to travel over this strand, traveling over under. So under the standing end. Like this. Then I'm going to travel on the left side of the standing end and double it up. So I'm going to travel under, then over. Then from right to left, I'm going to travel parallel to this strand, so I'm going to travel over under. Like this. I'm going to continue by traveling over the standing end, and at this point I'm going to split these two parallel strands, traveling between them and doing the opposite. So I'm going to travel under, over under. Then again, from right to left, I have another set of parallel strands to split. I'm going to travel between them, going over, under, over. Then I place my working end right next to the standing end, going under 1. And with this I have tied a 4-part 5-bite Turk's head. Now to expand it into a headhunter's knot, I'm going to first follow the standing end. So I'm going to continue over, under. Like this. So I basically doubled up my standing end. Then, since this is a type of a gaucho knot, I'm going to do the opposite to what I do when I exit. So here, I finished with an under 1. So I'm going to start my next sequence with an over. In this case, I'm going to start over 2, then under 1, over 1. Like this. And if you look carefully, what we did was we kinda followed this strand here at the top. So we went over this strand, just like this strand, then went under over, just like the top strand. Then, from left to right, we're going to go the opposite to how we exit. So we exit over 1, here, so we're going to re-enter with an under. We're going to go under 2 first, then over under. Again, you can kinda notice that we went parallel to this strand at the top, but we started under 2. Then, from right to left, the next sequence is going to be an over 2, since we finished under before. So, over 2, under 2, and over 1. Like this. Again, kinda following this top strand. From left to right, we are going to start our sequence under, since we did exit with an over. So, under 2, over 2, under 1. And then, again, from right to left, we're going to start our next sequence with an over, since we did exit with an under. So, over 2, under 2, over 2. Then, from left to right, we're going to start our next sequence under 2, over 2, under 2. And our next sequence, the final one, again over 2, under 2, and over 2, here on the left. Then we place our working end under 2, right next to the standing end. And with this we have tied a 7-part 9-bite headhunter's knot. The next knot that we're going to tie is again going to be a 7-part 9-bite headhunter's knot. The number of parts as well as bites is the same as in the previous knot, but we're going to tie it out of a sobre base knot. This means that the base knot is effectively going to be reversed, which is also going to reverse the headhunter's knot. So here you can see what I'm talking about. On the left, I have the knot that we tied earlier. It is tied out of a regular casa knot. On the right is a headhunter's knot, which is tied out of a sobre knot. Now, both have the exact same number of parts as well as bites, but as you can see, they are actually reversed. The middle strands are slanted to different sides. This one towards the left, this one towards the right. The bites on the sides are also slanted to the other side. Here towards the right and here towards the left. So these knots are different, but they are tied very similarly. This can be useful in some projects, so I think it is a good idea to be aware of the difference. So now let's tie a sobre headhunter's knot. To tie the sobre version of the headhunter's knot, I'm first going to set up a 4-part 5-bite Turk's head. But this time I'm going to tie it as a sobre knot. What this means is that I'm basically going to reverse the run list used to tie the base knot. So I'm going to pick up my paracord, I'm going to do a wraparound, and instead of going over the standing end, I'm going to travel under it. Like this. Then wrap around and come over here towards the right side, going parallel to the standing end. Then I'm going to move my working end down a bit, then travel under, over towards the left side. So under, then over the standing end. Like this. Now I'm going to double up the standing end on its left side. So I'm going to travel over, then under towards the right side. Like this. Then from right to left, I'm going to double up this strand. So I'm going to travel under, then over. Like this. Finally, I'm going to travel under the standing end. So under one. Then I'm going to split the standing end and the strand that's doubling it up. So I'm going to go between them and do the opposite. So over, under, and over. Then, from right to left, I have another set of parallel strands to split. Again, I'm going to travel between them and do the opposite. So under, over and under. Like this. Then I place my working end over, under, right next to the standing end, and this finishes up my base knot. A sobre 4-part 5-bite Turk's head. I'm now going to tighten it up slightly, then continue. So we finished the base knot going over one, under one. To continue with a Headhunter's interweave, we're going to double up the standing end, so we're going to continue over one. So the first sequence here is over, under, over. Then, since we exit the knot with an over, we're going to re-enter with an under. This time, under 2, over, under. Like this. So, under 2, over 1, under 1. Again, we kinda double up this top strand. Then, from left to right, I'm going to go over 2 when I begin my sequence. This is because I finished the previous one with an under. So, over 2, under 1, over 1. And this basically again doubles up this top strand. Then we continue. Since we stopped with an over 1, we're going to start with an under. Under 2, over 2, under 1. And again, since I finished the sequence with an under 1, I'm going to start the next one over. So over 2, under 2, and over 1 on the right. Then, from right to left, I'm going to start the next sequence under, since we finished over in the previous one. So, under 2, over 2, under 2. We finished under, so we start with an over. Over 2, under 2, over 2. And the last sequence, from right to left, we're going to start under, since we finished over. Under 2, over 2, under 2. To now finish up the knot, I'm going to place my working end alongside the standing end, going over 2, under 2. And with this we have a sobre Headhunter's knot, 7 parts, 9 bites. In the previous 2 demonstrations of the Headhunter's knot, I demonstrated 2 pass versions. In the following segment, I'm going to show you how to add additional passes. So we're going to tie a 3-pass Headhunter's knot. Here you can see a 2-pass version of the Headhunter's knot. This is a regular 7-part 9-bite Headhunter's knot. The 2-pass means that the strands in the knot have an over 2 or under 2 sequence. They always travel over 2 or under 2. We're going to add a 3rd pass, which is going to mean that the strands are going to travel under or over 3. So as mentioned, this is a regular version of the Headhunter's knot. So to finish it up, we went under 2. We're going to continue by doubling up the standing end. We're going to travel over 2 and under 2. So the first sequence is running alongside the standing end and going under 2 over to under 2. Then, since we finished under 2, we're going to start over. So, over 3, under 2, and over 2. Like this. Then, since we finished over, we're going to start under. Under 3, over 2, under 2. And since we finished under, we're going to start over. Over 3, under 3, and over 2. And since we finished over, we're going to start under. Under 3, over 3, under 2. And again, from right to left, we start over. So over 3, under 3, over 3. Then, from left to right, we go under 3, over 3, under 3. And finally, from right to left, over 3, under 3, and over 3. And with this, we have come to the end, and we place our working end under 3 right next to the standing end. And with this, we have a bit more of a bulkier knot with an over 3 sequence. So guys, with this I have covered 3 variants of the Headhunter's knot tied using the interweave method. The regular version, the sobre version, as well as a 3-pass variant, which is a larger knot. So I think this is not the last time that I'm going to speak about this knot, since there is still a lot to say. But for now, I would like to thank you very much for joining me in this video. Thank you and see you next time.